Hey, I want to ask you something. Do you remember where you were when Halo 3 dropped?
An exciting day for video game fans and for Microsoft.
Gamers lined up to get their hands on this little package.
Halo 3.
Cranked up for Halo 3.
Halo 3 is here.
The year was 2007, and the world was a much different place than it is today. You had the first ever iPhone that was about to release, Michael Bay's first Transformers movie was hitting theaters, and film and tech weren't the only things popping off back in '07. A lot of game studios were releasing some of their best work yet. And of course, with that being said, we're really going to be talking a lot about Bungie today, because they were about to drop their magnum opus, Halo 3, a game that literally shaped an entire generation of gamers. With innovative gameplay and amazing multiplayer, everybody was talking Halo, playing Halo, or at least knew what Halo was. But if you don't believe me in terms of how big of a deal Halo 3 was at the time, let's just take a little look at this statistic here. Halo 3 at one point in January drew over 1 million active players within a 20-hour span that signed into Xbox Live and played a match. I mean, this was a record-breaking day, and for the time was unfucking believable, dude. I can't be the only one that remembered just seeing that map every time you'd be in the matchmaking for Halo. And this map would light up with all the active players, and the entire world looked like a fucking Christmas tree, dude. Like everybody was playing the damn game, right? Here's the thing though, Halo wasn't just a game. It was a lot of our childhoods. From staying up late to the midnight release, playing the kick-ass campaign, and most importantly, playing the multiplayer. I mean, I have friends that I made back then that I'm still close to this very day. So there's a lot to love and a ton to remember with Halo 3. So let's dive back into the golden age of Xbox Live and relive those moments that made Halo 3 unforgettable. It's time to finish this fight one last time. But before we jump into all the gameplay and memories, we've got to talk about the massive launch Halo 3 had. See, Bungie was already building itself up as a juggernaut with the success of Halo Combat Evolved, and of course Halo 2 with its incredible multiplayer. So when the rumblings started coming up for Halo 3, the hype was insurmountable. I mean, at this point, the Halo franchise really helped assist Microsoft in a lot of ways with its exclusivity to Xbox. And the success of Halo really put Xbox on the map as a premier console for people to get. So again, the marketing had to be next level to really introduce this third installment to an already great franchise. And spoiler, the marketing was fucking phenomenal, bro. And with that being said, the days leading up to Halo 3's release were so memorable. I mean, it felt like there was so much put into that marketing for the game. Everywhere you would turn, there would be some kind of Halo poster out in public. Every other commercial on TV would be a Halo ad. And the ads they had were just next level. I still remember the haunting diorama ad of this big battle between the Covenant and the Marines, just duking it out with a big brute holding up Master Chief. And the camera just pans in with the music intensifying. You see the plasma grenade lighting up with Master Chief looking up at the camera, and it fades to black with the words, "Believe." That's fucking cinema, man. Like, come on, dude. I still get goosebumps this very day. And all this, again, was really just drumming up the hype for the game. So as a kid, every time I saw one of these commercials, I was invested even more in jumping into Halo. And I know I'm glazing up the advertising a bunch here, but what really, of course, made all this special was the fans, man. Just like any gaming franchise, you've got a good fan base, you're gonna have a good time, right? So when September 25th, 2007 came and Halo had its release, it was a fucking spectacle, man. And this was back in a time where midnight releases were a big deal, and it holds a special place in my memory because this was the first midnight release I had ever gone to, and I went with my dad, and it was a whole live event. I mean, there was lines of people waited outside. And so when the time finally came and I was able to buy my copy and take it back home, I still remember like it was yesterday, opening up that case, taking the disc out, putting it into my Xbox, being greeted by that Gregorian Halo choir. I know I said it earlier, but when we talk about goosebumps, I'm getting them right now just remembering what it was like booting that up and seeing that amazing main menu. And right away, me and my dad played through the campaign, and it was pretty awesome because at the time it was the conclusion of Master Chief's story. I got to play as Arbiter and my dad got to play as Master Chief, and I just remember the music and just like the missions were so fucking dope. And I was having such a blast playing through. But little did I know, I was only scratching the tip of the iceberg when it came to how much I was really going to love Halo and how much it was going to make an impact on my life. So let's go ahead and dive in to where the real magic went down. And that was the multiplayer. One of the peak Xbox Live experiences you could get.
Zombie killing spree. Double kill.
So when we're really approaching the multiplayer of Halo, obviously it was iconic. It was a ton of fun. It was all
Sit down, scrub, uninstall Angry Fun.
it was also pretty crazy. There's definitely some characters you got to meet playing online. And before I even had Xbox Live and played the multiplayer, I remember booting up the custom games by myself and just wandering around these maps, visualizing these epic battles I was gonna take place in. And when the day finally came to get Xbox Live and I started playing online, I was not let down in the slightest with how exciting and fun the multiplayer was. Like most multiplayer games, there was a competitive aspect, and there were several match modes and a ranked playlist that you could play to earn skill points to actually level your character up. And man, as you could imagine, it was pretty fucking sweaty. You had Lone Wolves, which was like free for all. You had Team Slayer, you had Team Doubles as well. And besides like the deathmatch modes, you also had objective-based modes like Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, and the dreaded Oddball. And honestly, fuck Oddball, dude. Now, the only way you could rank up to the highest ranks in the game was by winning these ranked matches and getting skill points, so that way you could get up to ranks like Major, Colonel, or even the coveted General. Shit was hard, dude. I never got that. I think I was like hard stuck at 47 or 48 highest skill. And so as your skill points went up and ranked, the competition would as well. So once you got to that 30 to 50 range, shit was getting pretty tough. But let's say you're not a sweat, or you need to cool off after a couple bullshit games where you had some teammates quit on you. There was a casual side to Halo, and honestly, that's probably where really the heart of the community was. You had fun game modes like Griff Ball, you had jump challenge maps. There was Big Team Slayer, which took place on big maps with all kinds of vehicles at your disposal, where you could have all these crazy epic battles and really feel what it felt like to have a whole all-out war. And let's say you get into the custom games side of things, people were making awesome game modes and maps. And when it came to making the maps, Halo 3 had its very own Forge mode. And Forge mode wasn't as in-depth as some of the other map creators out there for other games, especially nowadays. But it was awesome because if you got kind of sick of playing the same mundane maps, you could check out other people's new versions of these maps. And people's like creativity and ingenuity was unfucking real. Like, for example, you couldn't like put objects together. So people found this way where they would like put an object down and quit the match and reload it, and it would like fuse within another object. So this really allowed people to make crazy shit that they should not have been able to do. And when we talk about creativity, of course, people made really cool art that you got to see with like screenshots on people's file shares, which file shares for players was like fucking Instagram back then. I mean, they were kind of ahead of their time. So you could like look at pictures people had, and you'd see some cool stuff, right? Then you'd see, you know, the horny bastards making basically hentai shit, and you never knew what you were gonna see on people's file shares. So that was always cool. And touching base on some of the customization, of course, you got to customize your Spartan. They didn't have a huge range of customization back then, but you could at least have some cool helmets and kind of change out your armor a little bit here and there. If you were a real Chad, you had Recon, which back then was a big fucking deal because it meant you had to work for Bungie or you had to be boys with Bungie Studios. You could also play as a freaking elite. The customization was kick-ass, man. And honestly, some of my most fondest memories of Halo were those late night gaming sessions and custom games, playing Fat Kid or whatever new like infection map and mode that had come out, Jenga or Duck Hunt, whatever. And I just remember staying up so late and having so many laughs with the boys. And it was so easy to lose track of time. And you'd be snapped back to reality once you started hearing some fucking birds chirping outside. Young me would realize, oh fuck, I stayed up until the morning again playing Halo. And while I would probably be tired that next day or be fucking up my sleep schedule, sleeping the day away. This is what really was, to me, the golden age of Xbox Live. When it comes to other multiplayer games that I've enjoyed, nothing just holds a candle to what I experienced playing Halo 3. Another big part of that too, again, when we're talking about the community aspect, party chat didn't exist. And nowadays it can be kind of hard sometimes to have a bunch of people that have comms. There's so many games I've played where I'll go hours without talking to somebody. That wasn't the case in Halo back then. Like, I would see like 80-90% of the people you'd play games with had mics, and they were all really fucking cool. Now, of course, you'd have a couple douchebags and dickheads here and there to deal with, but if things got too heated, you could just invite them to a one-on-one on Guardian and really just, you know, beat their ass, and then jump back into some matchmaking and just act like nothing happened. But for the most part, everyone was awesome. And funny enough, one of my friends I met from 2008 is still one of my closest friends to this very day. And I was actually talking to him like a few weeks ago about this script and about Halo 3, and we were reminiscing on some of these memories. But that just goes to show you the power and the bond that Halo 3 created for many of us gamers. And there was a huge shared culture within Halo, because you had Machinima taking off, and while there are other games that were featured on Machinima, Halo was a big part of it. I mean, you had Arby and the Chief, Red versus Blue, and then of course those montages with Breaking Benjamin. And back then that shit was cool as fuck as a kid. I even remember me and my friends trying to make music videos and Machinima videos, and it never came to fruition, which was good because we were a bunch of stupid kids. That just goes to show the impact it had on our lives, because we were trying to recreate this shit, right? So a lot of us would eat, breathe, and sleep Halo. And it's just like all of this just really added to what made Halo the pinnacle of Xbox Live. Just being a kid and experiencing the world of Halo, especially when it came to the multiplayer, there was just nothing better, man. And I really missed that feel I had when I would turn on my Xbox, getting ready to jump into the next match with my friends. So with all that being said, it's been awesome kind of thinking about all this again, and even just talking about it with you guys. I'd love to hear some of the experiences you guys had playing Halo. And if it's not Halo, what's a game that really captured that spark from your childhood? I'd honestly love to hear what it was. So if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, of course. And guys, I know I've been gone for a while. I've been really fucking busy with work, but I wanted to make something special, so I figured why not jump into one of my favorite games and talk about it with you guys. Honestly, I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me over the years, and I'm looking forward to making some more content, and I want to make stuff that y'all want to see. So hope you guys have a good one. Take care. Peace.